I think it's pretty safe to say that when we examine the Skywalker saga, a lot of fans around the world would definitely agree that a lot of problems lie within The Last Jedi that was written and directed by, of course, Rian Johnson, and that he was the one responsible for dividing the fan base, and really was the one responsible of how The Rise of Skywalker really did not meet expectations of the box office results worldwide speaking. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing about Disney Star Wars as of right now is that it is heading in a different direction. They are developing a new Star Wars universe that is really going to change Star Wars as we know it. In fact, the new Disney CEO, Bob Chapek, is bringing in a lot of new Star Wars Legends material that's going to be put under the Disney canon that is literally going to bring us back to what was done in the late 1990s into the early 2000s for the most part that's going to fit in with Disney Star Wars. Now, the thing with creator George Lucas, I don't know if you guys knew this, but the new Disney CEO, Bob Chapek, has actually allowed George Lucas to come back into the known Star Wars universe to work closely with Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and other creators over at Lucasfilm to really bring in a new feel to Star Wars, a new tone, if you will, to really make these new stories feel very authentic, whether they are movies or TV shows or books, novels, comics, you name it. And the one exciting aspect of George Lucas's return all has to do with Rian Johnson's planned new Star Wars universe. Now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with The Rise of Skywalker, they are moving on to their new Star Wars trilogy of films, as well as their new Star Wars universe. Now, it's known that currently Disney has multiple plans in place in order to reunite the fans around the world, to evolve the Star Wars franchise into something new for the community. However, it's noted that the new Star Wars universe is currently being developed by the new Disney CEO, Bob Chapek, and that many changes are currently being made over at Lucasfilm in order to create a brighter future for Star Wars in general. It's explained that currently creator George Lucas is writing over the Rian Johnson planned Star Wars universe. Previously, before Kathleen Kennedy lost her creative control over at Lucasfilm, her and Rian Johnson had developed a series of stories for the new Star Wars universe. It's explained that these plans are now being written over by George Lucas and that Lucas has a say in the matter as to how much of it will be modified. It's noted that Lucas is writing over literally all of the material that Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson had planned for the new Star Wars universe, and that George is getting rid of Rian Johnson's concepts of the new Star Wars universe that was going to be in the form of an alternate universe of the known Star Wars galaxy, featuring no Jedi or Sith and taking them out of existence. Now, George, however, put a stop to this planned Star Wars EU by Rian Johnson just recently and is working hard with Bob Chapek, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni as we speak. So, the thing about the Rian Johnson Star Wars universe that was put to an end that really is pretty much very inspiring to me is how George Lucas is now back. He is working very closely with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. You know, let's not even forget here the new Disney CEO as well. And the real great thing about this is that we're going to get more authentic stories. We're going to have more true Star Wars projects coming out on Disney Plus and into theaters in the near future. Now, this Rian Johnson trilogy was actually going to connect to his known Star Wars universe that was going to pretty much give us an alternate universe of the Star Wars franchise, featuring no Jedi, no Sith, and essentially what Rian's take on the galaxy would be like in an alternate universe. That, to me, I think would have been a disaster, just so to speak. You know, I think that when we think about Star Wars in general, you don't often think about alternate universes and stuff around those lines. And I can see, you know, Rian Johnson's side to all of this. I mean, this is a man who developed a movie called Looper, which does indeed deal, you know, with time travel and all these different realities and stuff around those lines. So I can see, you know, why he would even want to do that with Star Wars, but it just wouldn't make sense. This, honestly, I think would have torn Star Wars into, you know, multiple different segments where it wouldn't have made a lot of sense to a lot of fans. It would have confused a lot of fans out there as to what in the world this new EU would have really been. And not just that, it would have also just been a sci-fi series with a Star Wars label slapped on top of it by Disney. At least that's how I see things. So, George Lucas stepping in and putting an end to this new Star Wars universe by Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy, I think is a great move by George. I think it's a fantastic step in the right direction, and this is probably the best way to go. by Disney and Lucasfilm in order to really kind of accomplish something that is going to really evolve Star Wars. Given that now George Lucas is taking control with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau by his side in order to really give fans a different take on things, that to me I think is going to be the ultimate goal here by Disney, is to really provide a different tone, a new tone for the Star Wars universe that we have never seen before in, of course, these Star Wars movies and these TV shows that are going to evolve. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.